SkyRush at Hersheypark is an insane Intamin hypercoaster that opened in 2012, and since then, this coaster has been pushing the limits for intensity and insane airtime since then. And in today's video, I will be doing a full in-depth review of this amazing Intamin hypercoaster located at Hersheypark. So let's start out our first category, which is height. SkyRush is a hypercoaster, meaning it stands between 200 and 300 feet, and in this case, SkyRush is right at that mark. SkyRush stands at 200 feet, meaning if it were 1 foot less, it would not be a hypercoaster, but it is 200 feet, and that is pretty tall, especially at Hersheypark. This is the second tallest roller coaster at Hersheypark, and it is the third tallest coaster in Pennsylvania, and personally, if SkyRush was any taller, in my personal opinion, I think it'd be too intense, to be honest. So I will be giving an 8 for SkyRush's height. Now, let's talk about the pure speed that SkyRush has to deliver, and that speed is 75 miles per hour. But it doesn't feel like 75 miles per hour, it feels like 100 miles per hour. The tightly compact layout of SkyRush makes the 75 miles per hour feel way faster than it really is. And on a hot summer day, this thing hauls like crazy. So, while 75 miles per hour is already pretty impressive, I am going to be giving a 10 for speed because it feels way faster than that. Now let's talk about this drop, guys. SkyRush is most famously known for this insane powerful ejector airtime filled drop that feels like 2 drops. Yeah, guys, this drop is from 200 feet, 85-degree angle, so nearly vertical, and this drop just feels unnaturally intense, guys. So you start going down, you release from the cable lift, you go down, except then you turn, and it just feels like 2 different drops. So you get the airtime at the bottom of the drop rather than at the top. So let's say you're on a normal roller coaster, right? Like a regular roller coaster with a normal drop. You get the airtime at the top of the drop. But on SkyRush, you get the airtime at the bottom, which is why some first-time riders to SkyRush may be surprised, thinking, oh, wait, we got no airtime in the drop, when really you get it right at the bottom, and it is the most powerful pop of ejector that I've ever experienced on any roller coaster drop, period. So you already know what I'm going to say, guys. SkyRush's drop is going to be a 10. Alright, airtime. Get ready for this insane ejector airtime on SkyRush. Every single airtime moment on this roller coaster is ejector. That first hill, ejector. The drop, ejector. The second hill, ejector. This coaster is filled with not only pure intensity, but tons of airtime. The only downside is that the airtime may be painful for some riders. I mean most riders. Because you are riding Thigh Crush after all. SkyRush. We'll get to that later, guys. But this airtime is so intense, especially if you're on a wing seat. There is no lateral support in these seats, guys. So you are going to get lashed around like a rag doll on this coaster, guys. It is that insane. This airtime is so powerful. SkyRush just has some of the most insane airtime on any roller coaster. So again, guys, while it may not focus on airtime so much, every airtime moment on SkyRush is pure insanity. So I will be giving it 10. Alright, now it's time to discuss the overall layout of this insane Intamin hypercoaster. So SkyRush starts out with an insanely fast cable lift hill right out of the station. You reach the top so fast, you have no time to comprehend what you're about to do. Then you go down the drop. The first part of the drop doesn't feel too insane, but it's right at the bottom of this drop that you get an insane pop of ejector going right into a banked turn to the right, up into an airtime hill where you get some insane airtime. Another turn, this time to the left. then up into another airtime hill that you get even more insane ejector, then another bank turn to the right, all the way up into a wave turn, and then you bank out of it. You get some airtime on that, mainly floater. Then another turn, then another airtime hill there. You get some airtime there. Then another airtime hill where you get some even more airtime, and you start to slow down a little bit. This is the tame part of the coaster right here. And then you go right into the brake run. And guys, that is a pretty short ride, but it packs in so much throughout the entire coaster. It's not until the end of the coaster that you start to lose your speed. The rest of the coaster, oh my god, you do not lose that speed. It's just so sustained. You just keep that speed throughout the entire duration of the coaster. This is a powerhouse throughout the entire layout. And this layout, while it may be a little bit repetitive, it is far from being tame. With that airtime, insane gray out moments, and just pure intensity, I will be giving this category a 9. Smoothness is one of the key factors to enjoying a roller coaster, and SkyRush is not the smoothest coaster out there. For instance, at the bottom of the drop, there is a very major pothole there that you will notice. On each of these turns, it is a little rough, a little janky, especially if you're on a wing seat. If you're on a wing seat, the roughness is going to be a lot more violent. But for me, the roughness did not bother me one bit on SkyRush. In fact, it made me enjoy it more because it just made it even more intense of a ride. And while this may not be the preference for most people riding SkyRush, for me, it just made it even more violent and even more enjoyable. But I'll still be giving a 7 for smoothness. Alright guys, time to talk about SkyRush's Restraints. SkyRush has the overhead lap bars that you can't find anywhere else, I guess. This is the first time I've ever seen these restraints, and they are god-awful, guys. These are some of the worst restraints on any roller coaster I've ridden in the entire world, and gives SkyRush the name Thigh Crush. When you pull down these restraints, say goodbye to your legs, because the restraints will tighten more and more and more throughout the coaster. Anytime you get airtime on SkyRush, it is going to feel like SkyRush is trying to tear your legs off. That is literally what it feels like, guys. But I have learned to accept this pain and try and ignore it and look past it. So don't walk on to SkyRush and just start thinking about what elements are going to carry the most pain with these restraints and blah, blah, blah. Because then you won't enjoy the ride. Just try to ignore the restraints. I know it may seem hard, but it is doable. You just have to ride this coaster over and over and over, and eventually you'll get used to it. And if you want to get the least pain, head for the front row in the middle. You don't want to get a wing seat. You want to get the middle row. No, you want to get the middle of the front row, and then you'll be good. It'll still hurt, but you won't get it too bad. And honestly, I don't know what Intamin was thinking when they put these restraints on SkyRush. And I honestly think that SkyRush should get a replacement restraints. Instead of these restraints, maybe get the newer Intamin overhead lap bars that you'll find on Intamin Blitz coasters like Pantheon, Velocicoaster. I think that's what they should do. But at the same time, I also don't think they should do that, because then SkyRush would lose its name of Thigh Crush. But you already know what I'm going to be giving for this category, guys. I'm going to be giving a 1. Alright, now how good are SkyRush's operations? And I'd say SkyRush has some pretty average operations. They're not the best, they're not the worst, they're just pretty average, is what I would say. They operate 2 trains at a time, which is usually 1 train in the station, 1 train on the layout. And when I was there, they were getting those trains out at pretty average time. Like, one was like 1.5 minutes, another one was 2 minutes, another one was like 1 minute and 15 seconds. So they're all right, I guess. I think that's how I'd put it. They're all right. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. So they're just all right. So I am going to be giving a 7 for operations. All right, now for our final category, which is theming. And guys, I'm not going to really be talking at all for this category because there is no theming on SkyRush. Like, that's just the fact right there. There is literally no theme to SkyRush. I guess it's just themed to rushing to the sky through that really fast cable lift, but other than that, I can't think of any theme for this coaster. And even if there was a theme, it's not executed. There is no theming to whatever this theme is. It's on a cool setting. It goes over this river. It goes over this lake. And there's a cool fountain and stuff. But there is no theming. I will give it some points for the setting, though. So I will be giving a 4 for theming. And now, to wrap up the full review of SkyRush, the final score of this phenomenal roller coaster is a 9. The only thing holding me back from a perfect 10 out of 10 score is those god-awful restraints that literally crush your thighs, hence giving it the name Thigh Crush. But looking past those restraints, this is an outstanding roller coaster by Intamin Amusement Rides. It has some great airtime. No, amazing airtime. One of the best first drops of any roller coaster I've ridden. And guys, this coaster blows me away every time. It takes my breath away and takes the feeling of my legs away, of course. But looking past all that, again, this is an amazing roller coaster. And if you've not ridden this coaster, it should definitely be on your bucket list attractions. This thing is just insane. I can't get over it. Every time I ride this thing, this is just an insane, outstanding roller coaster. So I hope you enjoyed today's roller coaster review. If you did, leave a like down below and comment other coasters you would like me to review for this channel. And, of course, as always, guys, stay on the thrill side of life.